Imagine a great architect designing a masterpiece. Before a single brick is laid, the plan is already complete. Every line, every detail, and every structure is carefully drawn out. In the same way, God has a blueprint for your life, a divine plan designed before you were even born. The question is, are you following it? Many live without purpose, wandering through life without direction, unaware that God has already mapped out a path for them. Today I want to share with you 8 key principles that will help you discover, embrace, and walk in God's divine plan for your life. Before you took your first breath, before your name was ever spoken, God had a plan for you. Your existence is not an accident, and your birth was not a mistake. Every human being is born with a specific purpose, a unique assignment crafted by the Creator himself. In Jeremiah 1:05, God declares, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." This scripture reveals a profound truth. God's plan for your life predates your physical existence. Consider an architect drafting a building plan. Before the first brick is laid, the design is complete. Every room, every structure, and every detail are carefully planned. In the same way, God designed your life with precision. He knew what talents you would have, what passions would burn within you, and what challenges you would face. Nothing about you is random. Some struggle to believe this because of difficult beginnings. Maybe you were born into a broken home, faced rejection, or experienced pain early in life. This does not mean God's plan was absent. Joseph in the Bible was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and imprisoned unfairly. But despite these trials, God's plan for him never changed. What seemed like setbacks were actually steps leading him to his destiny. A blueprint remains valid even when construction delays happen. In life, people experience obstacles, but that does not mean the design is flawed. God's purpose for you is unshaken by hardships, mistakes, or circumstances beyond your control. Many people allow their past to define their future, believing that a rough beginning disqualifies them from a great destiny. That is not true. Your divine assignment is still in place, waiting to be fulfilled. The enemy's greatest tactic is to convince you that you have no purpose or that you are not good enough. But God does not make mistakes. The very fact that you are alive means He still has work for you to do. No one else can complete the assignment given to you. The key to embracing this truth is seeking God. Too often, people look to society, culture, or personal desires to determine their purpose. But only the Creator can reveal the true function of His creation. Just as a manufacturer provides an instruction manual to explain the purpose of a product, God has provided His Word to guide you in discovering your purpose. Psalms 139:13-16 speaks about how God intricately formed you in the womb, writing every day of your life in His book before you lived a single one. This means nothing about your life is a surprise to God. Your strengths, weaknesses, and even the challenges you face were all accounted for in His design. The question is, will you trust the blueprint He has laid out for you, or will you try to build a life on your own terms? Many people believe they must create their own purpose. They chase careers, ambitions, and goals that seem appealing, hoping to find fulfillment. However, purpose is not something you invent. It is something you uncover. A product does not decide its function. The manufacturer does. A car is designed to transport people. A phone is created for communication, and a seed is meant to grow into a tree. Each has a predefined purpose. When something is used outside of its intended design, frustration and failure follow. In the same way, when people live outside of their God-given purpose, they experience confusion, dissatisfaction, and emptiness. People spend years pursuing wealth, status, and achievements, believing success equals purpose. But success without purpose is still failure. Gaining the world means nothing if you are living outside of your divine assignment. Many who reach the top of their field still feel unfulfilled because they are not operating in the calling for which they were created. True fulfillment comes when you align with the purpose God has already set for you. Discovering this purpose requires seeking Him. Proverbs 19:21 states, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." Plans may change, but God's purpose remains constant. Instead of asking, "What do I want to do with my life?" The real question should be, what has God created me to do? One way to recognize purpose is by identifying what naturally flows from you. A bird does not struggle to fly, and a fish does not struggle to swim because they were designed for it. Likewise, there are things you do effortlessly, abilities and passions that set you apart. These are often indicators of your divine assignment. Pay attention to what energizes you and what problems you feel drawn to solve. Some people are naturally compassionate and drawn to helping others. Some excel in leadership, while others thrive in creativity. God has placed a unique combination of gifts, talents, and desires within each person to equip them for their purpose. Moses initially doubted his calling, arguing that he was not a good speaker. Yet God had chosen him to lead a nation. He did not feel qualified, but purpose is not about feeling ready, it is about obedience. Gideon felt too small to be used by God, yet he was chosen to lead an army. Purpose is never based on human qualifications, but on God's divine selection. Another sign of purpose is the impact your life has on others. Purpose is never just for personal gain. It is designed to bless others. A tree does not eat its own fruit. Its fruit is for those around it. When you walk in your purpose, others are enriched by the gifts you bring. Many struggle to discover their calling because they fear stepping out in faith. They wait for a perfect moment or a clear roadmap. But faith requires movement. Abraham was told to leave his homeland without knowing where he was going. He had to trust that God's plan was better than his own. Instead of wasting years chasing temporary satisfaction, seek God's direction. The best way to discover purpose is through prayer, reading His Word, and surrounding yourself with wise counsel. Those who walk in their divine assignment experience a level of joy, peace, and fulfillment that nothing in this world can provide. Living outside of God's will leads to frustration and exhaustion, but when you align with His plan, life gains meaning. Obstacles will still come, but with purpose comes strength to endure. Are you searching for meaning in the wrong places, or are you ready to discover what God has already planned for you? Every person is born with a unique gift. This gift is not something learnt or acquired. It is something placed inside of you by God before you were born. Purpose is often hidden within the natural talents and passions you already possess. Many people spend their lives searching for their purpose in the wrong places when the answer is within them. A fish does not need to take swimming lessons, and a bird does not struggle to fly. These abilities are natural because they were created for them. Likewise, there are things that come naturally to you, skills, abilities, or interests that make you feel alive and productive. These are not coincidences. They are clues to your purpose. Some people discover their gift early in life, while others recognize it later. A young child may show exceptional skill in music, leadership, or problem solving. Another person might discover a passion for teaching, helping others, or inventing solutions to everyday problems. These gifts were placed there by God for a specific purpose. Many people ignore their gifts because they compare themselves to others. They believe purpose must look a certain way, grand, impressive, or widely recognized. But every gift has value. A person who encourages others has just as much purpose as one who leads a large organization. A mother raising children with love and wisdom is just as important as a business owner running a company. Each gift serves a purpose in God's greater plan. When a person neglects their God-given gift, they struggle with frustration and lack of fulfillment. Trying to operate outside of your purpose is like forcing a key into the wrong lock. It will never fit properly. Many people chase careers, money, or status, hoping to find meaning, but unless they are operating in their God-ordained calling, they will feel empty. Identifying your gift requires honest self-reflection. What do you do effortlessly? What do others consistently say you are good at? What kind of work excites you rather than drains you? Often, what you enjoy and excel in is a sign of the gift God has placed in you. Moses was a leader before he realized it. As a young man, he had a strong sense of justice, defending his fellow Israelites. But his leadership gift had to be developed through experience and trust in God. David was anointed as king while still a shepherd. His ability to fight and protect his sheep was a reflection of his future role as a warrior and leader. These men did not create their purpose, they discovered it by following the gift inside them. Using your gift brings joy not only to you, but also to others. A fruit tree does not eat its own fruit. It produces fruit for others to enjoy. Likewise, your gift is meant to serve and benefit others. If you are a gifted teacher, your purpose is to educate and inspire. If you have a gift of leadership, your calling may be to guide people towards success. The mistake many people make is burying their gift. Fear, doubt, and insecurity cause people to suppress what God has placed inside of them. They question if they are good enough, talented enough, or capable enough. But a gift is not about perfection. It is about obedience. When you use what God has given you, He will open doors for it to grow. Failure to use your gift does not mean it disappears, but it does mean you are not fully walking in your purpose. Imagine a world where no one used their God-given abilities. Music would go unplayed, books unwritten, businesses unbuilt, and lives untouched. This is why discovering and using your gift is not just about you. It is about fulfilling the assignment God has given you to impact the world. Following God's blueprint is not always easy. Many people want to see the full picture before taking the first step. But faith does not work that way. God reveals direction one step at a time, requiring trust and obedience. Abraham was called to leave his homeland without knowing where he was going. He had to walk in faith, trusting that God's plan was greater than his own understanding. Obedience often requires stepping out of comfort. Many resist following God's plan because it does not align with their personal desires or expectations. A person may dream of financial success, but God's plan might lead them to serve others in a way that does not immediately bring wealth. Another person may want to stay in a familiar environment, but God calls them to move. True obedience means surrendering personal preferences in exchange for divine direction. Faith and obedience go hand in hand. Faith is believing that God's plan is good, even when the path is unclear. Obedience is acting on that belief, even when it is difficult. Peter had to step out of the boat to walk on water. The miracle did not happen while he was standing still. It happened when he moved. Many people hesitate to obey God because of fear. They fear failure, rejection, or uncertainty. But fear is the enemy of faith. If Noah had listened to fear, he would not have built the ark. If Esther had listened to fear, she would not have saved her people. If Jesus had listened to fear, he would not have gone to the cross. The greatest moments of purpose in history happen because someone chose faith over fear. Obedience also requires patience. God's timing is not the same as human timing. Joseph received a dream about his future, but had to endure years of trials before it came to pass. David was anointed as king, but spent years in the wilderness before taking the throne. Delays do not mean denial. They are a part of the process. Many people give up too soon because they do not see immediate results. They start following God's plan, but when challenges arise, they turn back. Obedience means trusting God even when the journey is difficult. It means continuing the work even when results are not visible. Farmers do not see their harvest the day after planting seeds. Growth takes time. God rewards obedience. Every act of faith opens doors to great opportunities. The more a person trusts God, the more He entrusts them with. When a person remains faithful in small things, God gives them bigger assignments. A person who faithfully serves in a small ministry may one day lead thousands. Someone who manages a little wealth with integrity may later be entrusted with much more. One of the greatest barriers to obedience is human reasoning. People often try to rationalize their way out of God's instructions. They weigh the pros and cons, looking for logical evidence before acting. But faith does not always make sense in human terms. If Noah had relied on logic, he would not have built the ark when there was no sign of rain. If the Israelites had relied on logic, they would not have marched around Jericho expecting walls to fall. God's ways are higher than human understanding. Obedience requires humility. It means acknowledging that God's plan is better than personal ambition. Many people struggle with surrender because they want to maintain control. But true obedience is letting go of personal plans and trusting that God knows what is best. God's plan is never meant to harm, but to bring hope, and a future. The greatest blessings come to those who choose to walk in obedience, trusting that even when the path is uncertain, God's direction will always lead to purpose, fulfillment, and victory. A seed has the potential to grow into a mighty tree, but if it is planted in dry, rocky soil, it will wither before it reaches maturity. The same is true for people. Every person has a God-given purpose, but if they are in the wrong environment, they will never reach their full potential. The company you keep, the culture you embrace, and the atmosphere you choose to remain in can either nourish your destiny or destroy it. A person may have a calling to lead, but if they surround themselves with people who discourage growth, they will remain stuck in mediocrity. A young man with a talent for business will never reach his full potential if he spends time with those who have no vision, no ambition, and no desire to improve. The Bible warns in 1 Corinthians 15:33, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character." It does not matter how gifted or determined a person is, if they remain in the wrong environment, their potential will be wasted. The right environment consists of people who encourage, challenge, and push you toward your God-given purpose. Think of an eagle. If an eagle is raised among chickens, it will adopt the behavior of chickens, even though it was designed to soar. It will scratch the ground for food instead of flying high as it was created to do. Some people never stepped into their destiny because they have adopted the habits, mindsets, and limitations of those around them. Joseph had to leave his family before he could step into his destiny. His brothers were envious of his dream, and had he stayed with them, they would have suppressed his calling. Instead, God allowed him to be placed in an unfamiliar environment, Egypt, where his leadership gift could develop. Though he endured hardship, the change in his environment prepared him for the palace. The wrong environment is not just about people. It is also about habits and influences. Many people sabotage their own destiny because they fill their minds with negativity. The media they consume, the conversations they engage in, and the habits they maintain shape their mindset. A person who constantly listens to discouraging words will struggle to believe in their potential. The Bible says in Proverbs 4:23, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Whatever enters your heart and mind will shape the course of your life. A tree that is not producing fruit does not need more effort. It needs a change in soil. Some people work hard but see no results because they're planted in toxic environment. Changing your surroundings can transform your life. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and push you to grow. Engage in environments that feed your faith, sharpen your skills, and strengthen your character. If you are struggling to grow, examine your surroundings. Are you in a place that nurtures your potential, or are you in an environment that drains your energy and limits your vision? Many destinies have been destroyed because people refuse to leave an unhealthy environment. God is calling you to greater things, but you must be willing to step out of places that hold you back. Every person with a divine calling will experience trials and delays. Many people assume that when they follow God's plan, everything will happen smoothly. But purpose is never fulfilled without resistance. Challenges are not a sign that you're on the wrong path. They are proof that you are being prepared for something greater. Joseph had a dream of leadership, but before he could step into his destiny, he faced betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment. David was anointed as king, but before he sat on the throne, he spent years hiding in caves, running for his life. Moses was chosen to lead Israel, but he spent 40 years in the wilderness before his assignment began. These delays were not denials, they were part of the process. God allows trials to shape character. Without challenges, a person may step into their purpose unprepared. Imagine a person being given a leadership position without first developing patience, wisdom, or endurance. Power without preparation leads to destruction. Trials refine character, teaching lessons that cannot be learned in comfort. A diamond is formed under pressure. Gold is purified through fire. Strong trees develop deep roots because of storms. If a person prays for strength, God does not hand them strength. He allows them to go through situations that build it. When you face obstacles, do not see them as punishment. See them as training for the destiny ahead. Many people give up too soon. because they mistake delays for rejection. They pray for opportunities but lose patience when doors do not open immediately. However, divine timing is different from human timing. Just because something has not happened yet does not mean it never will. A seed takes time to grow beneath the soil before it becomes a tree. The absence of visible progress does not mean nothing is happening. Trials also test faith. It is easy to trust God when everything is going well, but faith is proven in difficulty. Will you still believe in your calling when things are not working in your favor? Will you still pursue your purpose when opposition comes? True faith continues even when answers are delayed. Job lost everything, his wealth, his health, and his family, but instead of turning away from God, he remained faithful. In the end, he received double of what he lost. The lesson is clear. Those who endure trials will see greater blessings. When delays happen, perspective matters. Some see delays as obstacles while others see them as preparation. A person stuck in traffic can either complain or use the time to listen to something educational. A student waiting for graduation can either waste time or use the season to develop new skills. Delays are opportunities for growth if approached with the right mindset. During waiting seasons, it is important to stay productive. Joseph did not waste time in prison. He used his gifts to interpret dreams, which eventually led to his promotion. David did not sit idle in the wilderness. He developed skills that later made him a great king. When doors seem closed, do not stop preparing. The opportunity will come, but you must be ready. Trials also separate those who are serious about their calling from those who are not. Many start with passion, but quit when things become difficult. Those who persevere prove they are ready for greater responsibility. Jesus endured suffering before his resurrection. If he had to go through trials to fulfill his purpose, so will everyone else. Delays also prevent premature success. Many people want success quickly, but quick success without a strong foundation leads to failure. A person who becomes wealthy overnight without financial discipline will lose everything. A leader who gains power without wisdom will make reckless decisions. God allows seasons of waiting to build the strength required for lasting success. God's promises never fail, but they are fulfilled at the right time. Trusting the process is key. When challenges come, remember that every great person in history faced trials before reaching their destiny. Do not be discouraged by delays. They are not a sign of failure, but a sign of preparation. If you remain faithful, you will see the fulfillment of everything God has planned for you. A person's vision is the blueprint for their destiny. Without vision, life becomes aimless, and purpose remains undiscovered. Proverbs 29:18 states, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." Vision is not just about seeing with physical eyes. It is about seeing with the eyes of faith. It is the ability to perceive where God is leading, even before reaching the destination. A person without vision drifts through life reacting to circumstances instead of shaping their future. Many people live day by day without a clear sense of direction. They wake up, go to work, and repeat the cycle without a greater purpose in mind. But those with vision live intentionally. They make choices based on where they are going, not just where they are. Visionaries see beyond their present circumstance. When David was a shepherd, he did not see himself as just a boy tending sheep. He saw himself as a future king. When Joseph was in prison, he did not focus on his chains. He focused on his dream. What you focus on determines where you go. A person who only sees obstacles will remain stuck. A person who sees possibilities will keep moving forward. Many people lose sight of their vision because of distractions. The world is filled with voices that compete for attention. Social media, entertainment, and the pressures of daily life. It is easy to get caught up in temporary concerns and lose sight of the bigger picture. But distractions delay destiny. Those who achieve great things are those who remain focused. A farmer does not plant a seed and forget about it. He nurtures it, protects it from weeds, and waits patiently for it to grow. Vision must be nurtured the same way. It requires focus, effort, and faith. A person who wants to build a successful business must keep learning and growing. A person who wants to impact lives must stay committed, even when challenges come. Vision is also tied to faith. Many people abandon their dreams because they do not see immediate results. but faith believes in the unseen. When God gives a vision, he also provides the resources, the connections, and the opportunities at the right time. Abraham had to believe in the promise of a great nation, even when he had no children. Vision requires seeing beyond what is currently visible. Your vision shapes your decisions. A person who sees themselves as a leader will make different choices than one who sees themselves as a failure. The way you think about your future influences how you behave today. If you believe you are called to greatness, you will invest in growth, avoid distractions, and persevere through hardships. If you doubt your potential, you will settle for less than what God has planned. Surrounding yourself with visionaries is essential. If you spend time with those who lack direction, their mindset will influence you. Eagles do not fly with pigeons. Those who desire greatness must align with others who challenge them to rise higher. Clarity of vision also requires time with God. The more time spent in prayer and seeking his guidance, the clearer the path becomes. Those who try to create their own vision without God's direction often end up lost. God's blueprint for your life is already established, but you must align yourself with it through faith and obedience. If your vision is unclear, ask yourself, what problem do I feel passionate about solving? What gifts has God placed in me? What has he been speaking to my heart? Vision begins when these questions are answered. A person who understands their vision walks with confidence, knowing that their future is secure in God's hands. Purpose is never just about personal success. It is about making a difference. True fulfillment comes not from what you gain, but from how you serve. A tree does not eat its own fruit. It produces fruit for others. Likewise, your gifts, talents, and purpose are designed to bless others. Many people seek meaning through wealth, status, and accomplishments, but even the richest and most successful individuals feel empty when their lives lack impact. Real joy comes from knowing that your life has added value to the world. Jesus himself said in Matthew 23:11, "The greatest among you will be your servant." Purpose is found in serving. Every person has something to contribute. Some are called to lead, some to teach, some to create, and others to encourage. No role is insignificant. A doctor who saves lives and a teacher who shapes minds are equally important. A parent raising children with love and wisdom is fulfilling a purpose just as much as a CEO running a company. Impact is not about position. It is about obedience to God's assignment. Some believe they have nothing to offer. They look at their skills and think they are too small to make a difference. But history proves otherwise. A shepherd boy named David defeated a giant. A woman named Esther saved an entire nation. A young man named Joseph became the ruler of Egypt. None of them started with power or influence. They simply used what they had. And God did the rest. Impact often starts small. A single kind word can change someone's life. A small act of generosity can inspire hope. The things that seem insignificant are often the most powerful. Many people wait for a big opportunity to make a difference, but true impact happens in everyday moments. God blesses those who live beyond themselves. When a person focuses only on personal success, their world becomes small. But when they focus on serving others, doors open. Joseph served faithfully in prison, and that act of service led him to the palace. Ruth served Naomi selflessly, and God positioned her for favor. Serving others positions you for greater opportunities. Impact is not about being famous. It is about being faithful. Some of the most influential people in history were never celebrated, yet their work changed lives. A mother who prays for her children, a mentor who guides young people, a worker who brings excellence to their job. All of these create lasting impact. Fear often stops people from stepping into their calling. They wonder if they are good enough, skilled enough, or worthy enough. But God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. If he has placed a dream in your heart, he has also given you everything needed to fulfill it. Many wait for the perfect time to step into their purpose, but there is no perfect time. Moses did not feel ready when God called him. Jeremiah felt too young. Gideon felt too weak. But they stepped forward in faith, and God used them mightily. The time to make an impact is now. Every life has significance. The world needs what God has placed inside of you. Whether through words, actions, or influence, your life is meant to shine. Someone is waiting for what you have to offer. When you step into your purpose, you not only fulfill your destiny, you change lives. Right now, I want you to take a moment and reflect. Are you truly living according to the blueprint God designed for your life, or are you following your own path, hoping it will lead to fulfillment? If you feel lost, confused, or uncertain, there is good news. It is never too late to align with God's plan. All you have to do is seek Him, trust Him, and take the first step in obedience. Remember, you were not created to drift through life without direction. You were made with purpose, for a purpose. Your gifts, your struggles, and even your setbacks are all part of God's plan. So today, I challenge you, make a decision to follow God's blueprint, surrender your plans, seek His guidance, and step boldly into the destiny He has prepared for you. Because when you walk in His purpose, you will find true fulfillment, joy, and impact that lasts for generations.